Sure, there's a lot of people wondering, why I'm trying to help people. I come back from a background of not so good. My story is, right, I didn't have very much of a childhood. My mom never really cared, you could say. So I grew up to where I was taking care of my siblings to a certain point, right? And I was trying to help out when I was a very young person, right? And each time that I was helping out, I thought more to myself, what can I do to take this pain away? What can I do to take this mindset away, right? And I started using drugs. My first drug was marijuana. That's everybody's, right? It's everybody's first drug, I guess. Unless you start with something harsh. I mean, there are those cases. But thing is that like I just want to help people. I want to help them get sober. I want to help them, see the light, that there's an end of the tunnel light. You know what I'm saying? The famous saying, there's a light at the end of the tunnel. Okay, yeah, there is, right? But you have to see it to believe it. Okay, a lot of people, when they're first going into, recovery or rehab or mental health facilities, right, to get sober off either drugs or, alcohol, they never put in the aspect that it's going to take time to get back to your old mindset. It's going to take time to get sober from your old self. And without that time, you think that it's just going to happen overnight. I have 4 years and 9 months, right? And I still fight till this day my mindset sometimes I fight my mindset, should I say, to the point where I know that I'm doing wrong, but I still do it. I still do good when I know I'm doing wrong. Okay, because that's the key point right there. You got to be willing to do the things nobody is willing to do to stay sober. We got to be willing to make those amends. We got to be willing to accept our wrongs, our problems, instead of blaming other people for them, right? And that's when I had to learn. For years I blamed my family for my drug use, right? And that's why I was using, because I was always saying, oh, my brother made me do this, or my sister did this to me, and right? But who has that excuse, really? Who has that excuse to where they can say, my family forced me to do this, or somebody forced me to do that? And come on, reality check, guys. Nobody has that excuse, okay? We all did it ourselves. And nobody can say that they forced you, right? And that's when your past comes, and that's when stay in the present, and that's when what I'm going to be talking about for the next few videos, therefore, to come. I basically just want to help people. I want to help them get sober. I want to help them get resources in their area. I want to help them stay sober-minded. I want to help them be the person that they want to be, right? And without me wanting to help them, why would I put my time up, right, if I didn't know what I'm talking about, right? So as I'm talking to you, I'm gradually and constantly learning how to stay, active and be better with you guys, right? Because I know that I'm speaking to the public now, right? And if I can't catch your guys' attention, what's the point, right? Be getting into peer support training, so that's the point to where I can help people peer to peer get sober, give them resources, talk to them about what they need to do to stay sober, right? A major role that played a part in my drug addiction and, time while I was homeless is myself, right? I blamed other people for many years, and I finally had to come to that realization that I can't blame anybody else for my problems. No one forced the drugs into my system. No one made me go to the streets as much as I did. No one made me rely on a drug alone, right? No one forced me into that life that I didn't want, right? And that's where we have to come to realize that it was our doing. Okay, no one forced us to do those drugs. Okay, and if we think that we have somebody who forced us, rethink and train your mindset. Okay, because then that's what's going to help you stay sober, right? An old sponsor of mine, okay, and I know it's AA, right? I said I wouldn't really talk about AA programs and stuff like that, right? But an old sponsor of mine, right? His name was Craig. He's 37 and a half years sober, right? And that's insane to think. 37 and a half years? That's great, right? But he had this like saying, I have a bus in my head, and I'm the driver, okay? But my old drug addict self is in the back of the bus, okay? And my new skills and my new mindset and my new things I got are in the bus with me as well, right? But that drug addict self is in the back of the bus. Hey, let's go back. Let's go back to the let's go this way. But you gotta train your mindset to tell you that back of the bus that he's staying back there. And you're in control now, not him. That person, that controlled mindset was controlling you to stay into active drug addiction, okay? And once you retrain your mind to think that I can get sober and I can stay away from certain stuff without being triggered, and I can be in certain situations without being triggered, because I fully admit, like, I can't even be around torches. I still get triggered till this day when I see a torch. And I'm sure you guys have some triggers as well from being an active drug addiction, right? We all have those. But that's the point where it comes into play. We need to figure out what we can do on our end to help ourselves stay sober, right? And that's why I'm trying to give out these pieces of advice to help people stay sober, right? And if I can help them stay sober, it helps me stay sober. And that's what makes me feel good. Back to my story, right? Why I want to help people, right? I was homeless for like 3 years, stuck in active drug addiction. It wasn't until I finally decided that I wanted to get sober and I wanted to help people, right? So that's why I want to get into peer support training. I want to get into the peer support training to help, active drug users or, past drug users to the point where they aren't using, they have resources, they have the mindset to stay sober, and that's a big goal. I eventually want to open up a non-profit organization that helps out build homeless shelters, food banks, clothing centers, a lot of stuff that helps out the homeless, because it's not being built anymore. That kind of stuff is not being built anymore. It's not being funded anymore. It's not being even looked at anymore, and I don't know why. It is what it is. Like, you can't change the government as of right now because you're not, government. But that's why, you got to pull together and figure out what you can do on your end to be a better person, right? If we're better people, then it makes sense, right? Like, why can't we help out people? Why can't we help them get sober? Why can't we help them get off drugs and give them a better mindset to the point where they don't need that drug anymore, or they don't need to be around that friend anymore, or they don't need to be in that situation anymore, right? I just, like I said, I want to help people, and I know that there's a big project there, right? But if it's worth it, it's worth it.